On the last episode of Betrayal in Antara, William and Aaron joined the mercenaries and found the consort. And now we're back with Kaylin and Rawl. And it looks like they're gonna show us our mission. What's our mission, guys? Join William and Aaron. This should be an action-packed episode of Betrayal in Antara. So I'm skipping the wine quest here because basically all he does is he tells you that there's a shield stone dug up somewhere, and that's where it is. It's this useless shield stone right here. Kaylin's father gave me a protective charm here. Look at this. I put it on. It gives me 5 defense. Thanks, Dad. I mean, I know you killed my mother, but hey, this is better than... This is just a small consolation. As you can see, Kaylin and Raul have not had anywhere near as many encounters as William and Aaron. So there is so much lower in ability.
I've got a gut feeling about this place.
The amount of times they block is so annoying. Holy shit. Time to get some sleep, right, guys? Yeah. The farmer greeted the companions. We don't see many strangers in Friol. You're welcome to sleep in my barn if you like. The party thanked him for this kindness, then noticed his deeply pocked face and arms. I don't mean to be rude, but I couldn't help notice you've had the pox. The farmer rubbed his face sadly. I'm one of the few survivors in Friol. Damn near the whole town was wiped out. This was one of the first places hit. The feeble pox came through, striking people down before the disease even had itself a name. The village is only now just beginning to get itself back on its feet. I'm sorry. All of Antara was hit hard, but it sounds like Friol got more than its fair share. The farmer swallowed hard. Ain't nothing fair about feeble pox. It carried off my wife and children like they were twigs in a windstorm. I believe we did this before with William and Aaron, so there's nothing in here, but there was a note in here. Remember, so in the last video, we covered the origin of the feeble pox, and that it was started in Alilario, in the mines of Alilario. In Friol, we got a note that said, that was addressed to the guy in the academy, right, of Vel Studies. So it was one of the people who came from Alilario and was heading towards the academy, and he obviously carried the feeble pox to Friol, which is why they got hit so hard.
It'd take a miracle to survive that blaze. I'm surprised your fur isn't getting singed from here. Wait here. I thought I saw... found who?
Oh, forgive me. When I heard you come in, I thought it was one of the villagers, back from the fire with news of Phoebe and her tree.
We smelled the smoke. What happened?
A band of heavily armed men came through the village a short time ago. There was some sort of commotion in the woods, and then Fallon raised the cry of fire.
Is the village in danger?
I don't think so. We've sent word to a mage in Varnas for help, but the woods may be gone by the time she gets here.
Is Phoebe lost in the fire?
I'm afraid so. The heat got too intense, and most of the villagers had to turn back. We know Phoebe wouldn't abandon her family's tree to the fire. A few have returned to search for her.
They'll be lucky to come back alive.
With Henna watching over them, they'll have more than luck on their side.
What's so special about Phoebe's tree?
Achuni's family's honor is embodied by their tree. Phoebe's ancestral tree is in the heart of the wood. It's been tended by her family for generations. The entire village fought to save it.
With the entire wood in jeopardy, I'd hardly think there would be time to worry about a single tree.
Phoebe protects the tree to honor her ancestors, Kaelin. Losing it would sever her link to her past. Her cause is a noble one. Is there anything we can do to help?
Rahl, weren't you listening? It's like an oven in there.
Kaelin, you know how the girls feel about their ancestors. I cannot stand by and let Phoebe perish in the flames, even as the spirits of her own ancestors are consumed.
She won't be far from her ancestral tree, but you'd be burnt to a cinder long before you reach it. Give me your hands. Henna, cast your watchful eye over these brave travelers. Shield them from the hungry flames, that they may return with one of your faithful, to hear your song another day.
Oh, what was that? Rahl, your fur's standing on end.
My skin is tingling.
With Henna's grace, you may be able to reach Phoebe now, but take care. All too soon the effect will fade. Of all the faces of the Triune, Henna's is the most fickle. Beware the flames.
I live in the forest. You can't protect a tree from such an inferno.
The Chunies have had generations to learn how to tend their ancestral trees. In a blaze like this, the only hope is to dig a trench around the tree and fill it with sen water, letting the roots soak up the healing liquid.
I see. The trench to keep the flames from the trunk, the sen water to regenerate singed branches and keep them from catching fire.
With Sinadrin's kiss and Henna's smile upon them, Phoebe and her tree may yet survive.
I guess it's time to save a tree, guys.
Join me in a song of joy. Dewdrops on the spider web, sparkling in the morning sun.
We've got to be going. I know.
Kaelin spied the woman through the smoke. Quick, Rahl! Help me get her out of here. They lifted the woman to her feet. Phoebe? The woman brushed her hair out of her face. Her hand left a streak of ashes on her forehead. Who are you? She asked weakly. Friends. We'll take you to safety. With a surprising show of strength, Phoebe yanked herself out of their grasp. No, she shouted, then coughed violently. We have to protect the tree. She gasped, gesturing toward the unfinished trough around the trim. I won't leave you until I know it won't burn. Until I know it won't burn.
I can't get it to work this way.
a few hurried motions, the party completed the trough around the beleaguered tree. And then we gotta put some sand water in there.
This must have been made by humans.
Kaelin poured most of the sun water into the trough, then handed the flask to Phoebe. Drink this. It'll give you strength. Gratefully, Phoebe drained the last drops. Thank you for protecting my ancestral tree, Ral said. We know how much it must mean to you. Won't you come with us now? Phoebe refused. The sun water has revived me greatly. I will stay for a few more moments to make certain the trough holds. Then I will follow you out of the woods. Please go now. How the hell is she getting out of the woods? I don't know. I guess the fire just magically disappeared. Makes sense.
There you are. The entire village is talking about your daring rescue.
News travels fast. Phoebe was weak, but she refused to go to safety until Rawl and I finished digging the trench and filling it with sand water. She needs attention, quickly.
We will all care for her. Thank you both.
When you hugged me and Kaelin, something happened. It felt different than before.
I felt it too. Was it Henna?
No, that wasn't Henna. It was Sinadrin.
Sinadrin? But you're a child of Henna.
I don't understand. Perhaps, though we call Henna, Sinadrin, and Kor the three faces, too often we forget what that means. That they're different aspects of the same divine spirit.
Perhaps by opening yourself to one, you open yourself to all.
This is extraordinary. I have much to think about. Thank you, my friends. Truly, you are thrice blessed.
And so, it would seem, are you.
Wow. It just gave me like 3 to everything. I mean, this makes sense because let's be honest, Kaelin and Rawl don't go through near as many encounters as Aaron and William. So, you know, they got to get some of their skills up somehow.
Join me in a song.
I've got a gut feeling. Wait here. I thought I saw...
Let's all run away. Run away, run away. Come on now.
I'll say one thing for Aaron. He knows how to make an exit. With the bridge destroyed, we'll have to find some other way across the river. Why doesn't this work?
Excuse me, sir, Kalen said to the man who opened the door. We were wondering if you know if of any way we can cross the river. The big man laughed heartily. No one. Core, I am one. Missy, don't you recognize a riverboat captain when you see one? Kalen searched for an identifying insignia or badge, but saw none. No, I guess I don't. The captain looked down at his shirt sleeve. Can't say I blame you. What with me being out of uniform, don't know if I can even call myself a riverboat captain since those ray-kissing bottom feeders took my barge. Kalen ventured to guess. Ganesh mercenaries, right? The captain eyed her suspiciously. Aye, but how would you be knowing that? We've seen their handiwork. They're after some friends of ours, and we'd like to get them first. The captain scratched his chest. Afraid I can't help you go anywhere without my barge. I'm about to head downriver. Maybe I'll find her beached on the riverbank. Not too much the worse for wear. But I expect I'll be lucky if those lovers didn't sink her on a sandbar. door was opened by a man whose face was red with irritation. Without giving Kalen a chance to get a word in edgewise, he launched into a tirade. It's about time you got here. Doesn't take a moon to travel from Grandeur. If the consul can't send a representative in a timely fashion, he shouldn't bother sending one at all. Kalen decided to play along. I'm sorry, sir. Truly sorry. Now, what was it you wished to see me about? The man blustered. What I want to know is why Imperial security is so lax as to allow saboteurs to destroy 2 bridges within weeks of each other. That's a very good question, Kalen agreed. With my own eyes, I saw the destruction of the bridge south of town. It looked like a couple of youngsters were responsible. Now, if the Imperial Guard can't do something as simple as... The man falters as he noticed Raoul for the first time. Kalen encouraged him by asking for a description. He continued, uneasy in the Geralf's presence. Well, one of them was a mage. That much was obvious. Don't we have procedures to keep hostile mages away from decent citizens? Don't we have laws about that sort of thing? Kalen was growing impatient. Can you describe the mage or his companions? There were 3 of them. One dressed as a Piandan, noble of all things. That was all Kalen needed to know. On behalf of the consul and Grandeur, I thank you for your diligent observation and report. Be assured we will take care of the situation. As they turned to go, the man spoke to their backs. I wasn't aware there were any Geralf working with the consulate. Raoul turned back, treating the man to a white-fanged Geralf grin. There aren't, he said, then casually sauntered down the path to the road. Come in. Nice, called a voice through the door. Kalen and Raoul entered the cottage to find a young woman seated at a table, polishing a thick gold bracelet. Kalen greeted her, offering a compliment on the bracelet's beauty. The woman poured a dab of lotion onto a cloth, which she vigorously applied to the gold. This is my most prized possession. It belonged to my mother and her mother before her. Several days ago, I almost lost it while I was rowing on the river. My boat hit a rock and sank. I swam to shore, but the bracelet slipped off my wrist. If it hadn't been for Stephen's help, I never would have found it again. Stephen? Asked Raoul. He's a mage from East Bank. He waved his magic staff over the water, and the river bottom rose to the surface. I searched the mud for my bracelet. It took a long time to find it. I could see the strain on Stephen's face, and his arms were shaking, but he kept the water away until finally the sun glinted on the gold, showing me where the bracelet lay. Lucky the mage happened along when he did. Yes, I thanked him and offered to pay for his trouble, but he left quite quickly without saying a word. It seemed rather odd, actually. Well, we won't be that rude, but we should be going to... Good day. That's the right here. This is Antara and Jesus is over here. We've already encountered him multiple times. What do you want? A man snapped, seeing the two road-weary travelers on his doorstep. Caitlin stood her ground. Nothing, sir. We're just passing through town. The man grimaced. Well, don't expect to take the southern bridge on your way out, because you can't. It's out. And don't expect to take the northern bridge neither, because there's a pack of racketeers charging outrageous fees to cross over. Saw themselves an opportunity to cheat the honest citizens, they did. They're stationed every couple of feet, so no sooner do you pay off one than there's another blustering and threatening. I can't afford their prices, so I had to turn around. Why aren't the officials dealing with the situation? There's supposed to be a troop of guards on their way up from Berlin, but by the time they get here, it'll all be spoiled anyhow, the man complained bitterly. Are you a traitor by any chance? Yes, and I'm stuck with a wagon full of sprays of cheese, melting in the sun. The trader brightens. Say, you wouldn't happen to be in the market for some cheese, would you? I can let you have it, and let's see, a special rate of 15 burlas a wheel. Sure, we love cheese, don't we? Let's buy some cheese. Yes, as a matter of fact, we would like some cheese. Caitlin paid the trader and received an odoriferous package. Hey, are you sure that hasn't spoiled already? She asked, holding her nose. Oh no, the trader assured her. It's supposed to smell that way. So I guess the cheese is fine. I don't know. She just doesn't like the way the cheese smells. All right. So clearly Steven isn't here in the village. Missed him. Missed his ass. I must have missed him. Fucking Steven. I missed his ass. Or yeah, I figured I had to have missed him. The door was opened by a young man who would have been handsome but for the dark half circles under his eyes. Who is it? I really don't want to be disturbed just now. He started to close the door, but Caitlin interjected. Are you Stephen the mage? Yes, but I don't really see... Caitlin continued. We thought you might be able to help us cross the river. Distracted, he responded. The river? What? I don't... Raoul elaborated. Don't you have the magic to part the waters? A young woman in Camille said. The mage interrupted, a sudden interest lighting his eyes. A woman? What woman? Was her name Pamela? Raoul thought, I don't know her name, but she stood about this tall, had brown eyes and extraordinary hair. She said she'd lost a bracelet and you helped her find it. The mage sighed wistfully. Skin as fair as Eastern linen, with eyes that glowed brighter than the purest torchite gems. Caitlin arched an eyebrow. I don't think I would have described her that way, but yes, that sounds like her. The mage replied dreamily. Her image is painted forever upon my memory, though I met her but once. Caitlin snorted. Once? If you like her, why not go see her? Oh, I couldn't. Just wouldn't know. I mean, what would I say? What would I do? She's so beautiful and I'm sitting here alone instead of telling her how you feel. It's not that difficult. She's a woman, not a Karn. His eyes sparkled with hope. You'll help me then? You'll go to her, talk to her, tell her how I feel? Kaelin backpedaled. I didn't say that. I can't. I'm no matchmaker. If you help me, I'll help you cross that river in no time. Raul grinned. We do not need to get across, little archer. Why not help our friend here? We do need to get across. Why not help our little friend here? Kaelin curled her lip in a mock snarl. Thanks a lot, fur brother. All right, I'll do it. To the lady's bower, let us fly. We'll win her love, or at least we'll try. Upon hearing Kaelin's attempt at poetry, the mage began to look worried. But summoning up a weak smile, he wished them good luck with his fair lady love. Kaelin knocked. Pamela, are you home? The young woman answered the door. Oh, hello again. How are you? Kaelin answered hurriedly, anxious to get this errand over and done with. We're fine, Pamela. We have a message delivered from Stephen, that mage over in East Bank. He's sort of, well, I guess it's a poem. Pamela looked pleasantly surprised. Really? For me? How exciting. Kaelin cleared her throat. Here goes nothing. Your eyes glow like the torchite stones, found deep beneath the ground. Your hair is like the flowing sea, with seaweed ribbons bound. Pamela was smiling. Kaelin took a deep breath and continued. Your skin's as fair as Istan linen, or perhaps as cloth from Choth. I long to rush to your embrace, as the flame flies to a moth. Raul interrupted. Kaelin, shouldn't that be? Kaelin hissed. Shush, Raul. I'm doing the best I can. Pamela sighed. Oh, please, do continue. Kaelin spread her arms wide for the dramatic finale. To win you over is my heart's dream, and that I'll not deny. By steadfast love I pledge this day to woo and win or die. Pamela looked like a butter on a hot dog day. Oh, that was charming. I had no idea. Tell Stephen I'll meet him on the night of the next full moon, down by the river. He'll know the spot. As Kaelin and Raul departed, Raul asked, Won't Stephen have trouble living up to the poetic reputation you just made for him? Kaelin shrugged. I doubt it. If his kisses are only half as bad as my poetry, I'd say he has nothing to worry about. God. Right here. Despite her outward calm, Kaelin felt a jitter of excitement. Stephen, come out here. We have something to tell you. In seconds, the maid stood beside them on the steps. Yes? Did you see her? What did she say? Milking it for all it's worth, Kaelin spoke slowly. Oh, not much. We talked for a while of this and that. Nothing important. The weather, the price of milk, that sort of thing. Kaelin, the poor fellow is about to burst. Kaelin grinned. Pamela asked you to meet her at the same spot on the riverbank. on the night of the next full moon. The mage danced around the yard like a moon-crazed rabbit. After a few minutes, Ral cleared his throat to catch Stephen's attention. Looking sheepish, he returned to face his benefactors. I don't mean to detract you from the joy of the moment, but you agreed to help us across the river, remember? Stephen nodded. I owe you a favor. Meet me by the grandfather tree on the bank. You've made me very happy. She's so beautiful, so lovely. Kaelin grabbed Ral's elbow. I think this is where we came in, Stephen. We'll see you down at the river. Come on, Ral. Let's go before he starts in on the chorus again. As promised, Stephen was waiting for the companions. Stand back and don't move until I tell you to, he says, waving his hands over the river. As if an invisible boat set sail from the shore in front of them, a tiny wake appeared. It crossed to the opposite riverbank, the ripples spreading outward and growing with each passing moment. Ral studied the wake and realized the trough wasn't getting deeper. The river was getting shallower. Look, Kaelin, he's racing the riverbed. Soon they could see the river bottom rising from beneath the surface until a muddy path connected the banks. Though through gritted teeth, the mage cast, Go now, quickly. The pressure is tremendous. I'm not sure how long I can hold it. Just so you know, you can hold it forever, of course. Upon safely reaching the other side, they waved to Stephen. He lowered his arms and the path dropped beneath the surface, water crashing in to fill the gap. Within seconds, the river flowed normally again. Stephen waved to them and walked away. Obviously, that was all optional. I could easily get across this river by killing all these men, but you know, this is more fun, right, guys?
Wait here.
Okay, let's see. Whoa, so that crossed us all the way over here. This side. We are going to go back here because it's actually kind of unusual that we cross the river, because I know I don't expect the viewers to remember, but she told William that they would meet up at a tavern in Grandier. "100 burlas to cross, missy," the brigand said in a friendly enough manner. "Who authorized you to collect a toll? If you have an issue with the toll, I suggest you take it to the city guard in Berlin. Now, do you wish to pay and cross, or do you wish to turn back?" "There's always a third option," said Kaelin through clenched teeth. "And we chose to fight." Kaelin snarled, readying herself for battle. Rel sighed and gripped his staff defensively. That wasn't hard at all, right? Like, that would actually be probably just about as easy, if not easier, than what we ended up doing. But, you know, we gotta do it for the storyline.
You must be Kalen, and you must be Raul.
Very few things in this world must be. Most things simply are.
That's very good. All right then, I'll play. Are you Raul, and are you Kalen?
Perhaps it would be best if you first told us who you are.
Sure. I'm Naku. I've been waiting here to deliver a message to a growth with a pet woman in tow.
William.
He was right. Your nostrils do flare when you're angry. Anyway, here's the note. William seemed quite anxious about something. Sounds exciting. What's going on?
You have discharged your task admirably. Thank you for your diligence.
Maybe I can help. There's a lot I can do. I fought off an army of mantises once.
The road we travel, we must walk. You must fly, air dancer. Fair winds to you.
So, you know, he had to be there because we were supposed to leave him the message in grandeur. But he gave us the message. Thanks, William. Probably be good. Maybe want to do one, just in case.
I've got a gut feeling about this.
It's so weird when they say that I'm being ambushed by Massilips. I mean, what the hell? The door was thrown open by a man wearing a gaudy velvet cloak and a maniacal gleam in his eyes. He held a high-drawn sword. I'm ready for you, Mayrat swine. Rel tensed, but Kalen held him back. Down, boy. And I mean both of you. The man relaxed somewhat, lowering the sword, but maintaining the maniacal gleam. All right, I can tell you're not attacking Mayrat hordes, but I'm taking care of for when you do show up. When they do show up, see my protection. Kalen reached out to touch the cloak. The man jerked back. Don't touch the cloak. It's centuries old, made by one of the mages who created the Imperial cloak itself. How about that? Kalen arched an eyebrow. Where'd you get it? The man winked confidentially. A man in Berlin sold it to me. It was the very last one he had. Cost a lot, but swords can't penetrate it. Won't even scratch it. Let's see the Mayrat try to hurt me now. Quick as lightning, Raoul lashed out with his staff, knocking the man as flat as a halibut. Raoul observed dryly. Swords aren't the only weapons the Mayrat can use. Kalen chuckled and helped the poor fellow to his feet. The companions went on their way, leaving the chagrined, though somewhat wiser man to rub his new bruises and reconsider the Mayrat threat. Whoa. Kalen knocked loudly on the door. Some minutes passed before it opened, revealing a young officer in the process of buttoning up his trousers. Yes? What is it? Make it fast. I'm right in the middle of something. Kalen heard a giggle coming from a pile of blankets in front of the fireplace. She grinned. I can see you're busy, sir. We won't take up any more of your valuable time. Sorry to disturb you, and you too, miss. As Kalen turned to go, Raoul grabbed her arm. He was rude to you, skin sister. Do people in this part of your empire not learn proper manners? That's all right, Raoul. I think he's already learning everything he needs to know under the circumstances. There's my academy pass right there. I won't really need that. I moved in? Heal. Okay. A little girl opened the door playfully to greet the strangers. When she saw Raoul, the laughter died on her lips, and she ran screaming into the house. Her father hurried into the doorway, a dull sword in his hand. Seeing the Gerolf, the man paused. Raoul crouched to defend, but Kalen yelled, "No!" and stepped between them. The man dropped his sword and held out his hands. I'm sorry. I heard my daughter scream. She's never met a Gerolf before. Allie Renee, come here. A little face peeked out from the safety of the house. I said, come here. He's all right. He won't hurt you. Raoul tried to make himself smaller and less intimidating. I'm not such a bad fellow once you get to know me. Really. Unfortunately, Raoul's dagger-toothed smile sent the child skittering back into the protective shadows of the cottage. This could take all day. Come on, Raoul. Let's go. No, No, Kaylin, this is important. What this small one thinks of me today may determine her opinion of growth for her entire life. Go if you wish, and I'll catch up later. Kaylin paused. No, that's all right, I'll stay. Though it took some time, eventually Allie Renee became comfortable with Raul. So comfortable that when her new friend tried to leave, she clung to his fear and begged him to come live with her and her father. Finally, Raul managed to pry himself out of her grasp. Kaylin sniffed the fragrant air. Raul, smell that? A bakery. Let's go in. Raul turned away. Go if you like. I'll wait for you across the road. What's the matter, Raul? I know Geralf don't eat grains, but nobody's going to force you. Come in to keep me company. Raul swallowed hard. Actually, I think it would be better if I moved upwind and quickly. Kaylin followed Raul out of range of the bakery's enticing aroma. Raul, you don't know what you're missing. The Geralf looked distinctly green beneath his fur. Kaylin, the thought of eating bread is as appealing to me as the thought of eating raw field worms would be to you. That yeasty odor alone makes me nauseous. Kaylin cocked her head to one side. I never knew that about Geralf. Well, better not get mad, Raul, or I'll put muffins in your sleeping blanket and dinner rolls in your pockets. There. The door was open. The companions peeked inside to see two lines of children sitting on the floor. They were playing a common counting game, dealing out pebbles one by one until they ran out. The child with the most pebbles wins all the pebbles from the child sitting across from her. The game continued until one child had all the pebbles or it was time for bed, whichever came first. The companion watched as the children played. We did this with William and Aaron, so I'm gonna kind of just go over this real quick. So this was the exact same thing that happened last time we went here. Okay. I believe that's everything. So we just discovered everything in this village. Go on the road. The flower boxes and curtain windows invited the party to approach the house. The door was soon opened by a plump, apple-cheeked man wearing a check napkin in place of a cravat. A chorus of children's voices sang out, "Who is it, Daddy? Who's at the door?" Before the Travers could get out word, the man was joined by his wife, as every bit as round and pleasant as her husband. "Oh, my dear, don't keep these youngsters standing in the door. Invite them in, my pet, invite them in." The husband complied with his wife's hospitable wishes. Before they knew what happened, the companions found themselves seated at a long table, staring into the scrub faces of 10 or 12 children. 10 or 12 pairs of shining blue eyes stared back. Again, we've kind of done this before, so sit down and have a meal. Yeah, let's do... Curtains waved in the open windows. The party was greeted by a happy woman carrying a smiling baby in arms. This is my new nephew, Natty. She lapsed into baby talk. Isn't he a fine boy? Isn't he a pretty boy? Caitlin agreed somewhat tentatively, privately thinking that she'd never seen such a homely child. I'd invite you in, but my sister is resting. Her fever has broken and it looks like she's beaten the pox. But you know how it is when you've just given birth. The woman eyed Caitlin's flat stomach and clear eyes. Or maybe you don't. But you will someday. Caitlin grunted non-committally. We'll see. The woman blushed. Oh, I didn't mean any offense. I'm just so happy. So, you know, this is the people that we greeted. We saved that baby, essentially. The frightened woman barely opened the door wide enough for Caitlin to catch a glimpse of her. Excuse me, ma'am. We're looking for some friends of ours. The woman interrupted. Please, just go away. We don't want no trouble. The door closed. Caitlin looked at Raul, perplexed. What did I say? Quickly and quietly, the door opened again. A tow-headed 12-year-old girl beckoned them to follow her. When they were out of earshot of the house, the girl asked, Does one of your friends have dark hair and he's really handsome? Caitlin rolled her eyes. That's a matter of taste, but yes, I suppose so. And my other friend is fair and carries a staff. Have you seen them? The girl grinned with conspiratorial delight. They said some men were after them, so I hid them. Caitlin commended her. That was brave of you. The girl puffed out her chest with pride. They were with another man who talked funny. The handsome one said if a woman in a garage came looking for him to tell them they're missing all the fun. That's you, he meant, huh? Raul nodded, then asked, Where should they go? South to Siega Pass, toward the capital. Caitlin and Raul thanked the girl for her courage and reliability. As they turned to go, Caitlin gave the girl a quick, spontaneous hug. Hey, what was that for? Caitlin just smiled and bid the girl farewell. As she and Raul turned away, he shot her a quizzical look. She reminded you of you at that age, didn't she? I thought so too a bit, though of course you were a lot more disagreeable. Even with a solid tug, the door refused to open. A closer examination revealed it was locked. This is the house that we opened before, after saving that baby. Every once in a while you should save, just in case there's a crash or something. Kinda would have guessed that they were all gonna get away, because that chain that they're wearing. It's so annoying. I mean, with 5 people, it makes that Carluta's chain makes a lot of sense, spreading up all the damage.
Kaylin, Rawl, it's good to see you.
It certainly wasn't hard to track you two. We just followed the path of destruction, and lo, here you are.
We've been doing all right so far, but now we're in a tough spot. This here's the consort. He's still a little woozy. As you no doubt noticed on your way in, we're surrounded by mercenaries. If we leave this cozy hidey hole, they'll be on us in a second.
Got any girl tricks up your sleeve, Raul?
We could make snares and tripwires. That would slow them down. There are plenty of rocks in the area. Do we have rope and oil?
I think so. William, wait until you can tell if our traps worked, then get going.
How will we know?
I'd say the abundant cursing should be a dead giveaway. When you hear the commotion, make for the pass and keep going until you reach Antara. Don't stop no matter what.
But Kaylin...
It's our best chance. Don't worry, Aaron. We'll be fine.
You better be.
Raul, are you with me? Let's go.
I have some rope. I'm not sure I have. And do I have some oil? Not enough. Shit. Okay. I'm gonna have to get some rope and more rope and oil. Let's head to Iston. Oh, looks like we didn't have to buy any rope. Oh well. So you see there's a bunch of mercenaries here. This is one of those other things where I showed you before with where you could just kind of fight them infinitely. You know, you just sit there and just fight them as many times as you want. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's do this.
I didn't think that would work.
The fuse burned quickly. Kalen and Rawls shielded their eyes and mouths as the flash exploded, filling the air with a cloud of greasy black smoke. The mercenaries, their lungs filled with the choking fumes, quickly dispersed in search of fresher air.
Aaron and William aren't out of the woods yet. We'd better make sure their path is clear. I think we have some more mercenaries to take care of.
And there's some more mercenaries here.
Aaron and William aren't out of the woods yet.
I didn't think that would work.
That should do it. William and Aaron should be in the pass by now. Let's follow their lead and meet up with them in Antara.
As Kalen and Raul approached the house, the front door opened and a big man in an open-necked shirt emerged. He sang a song that Kalen immediately recognized from taverns throughout the Empire. I've never been a hero, and I've never been a mage. I've never changed the minds of men, as I am not a sage. I've never been to foreign docks. The man broke off when he saw the strangers. Hello, it's a grand and glorious day today, is it not? Kalen remarked, you seem to be in an awfully good mood for a man who looks like he's heading off to work. You're right, I am. I'm a man who likes to work. Keep me from working and I get as jittery as Traka on the nests. This shipping strike went on far too long and I'm darn glad it's finally over. Say, you two look in need of some ready scratch. Why not come down to the docks with me? I've got a ton of furs and skins to load. I'll pay you well if you lend a hand. The man winked at Wall or a paw. Why not? Raul shrugged. Sure, why not? A little exercise in the fresh air should do us both some good. Kalen looked doubtful but decided it couldn't hurt. The dock worker thumped the Grelf on the shoulder. Great, I appreciate the help. We walked down to the harbor. Where the ship was waiting, her holds open and empty. The dock worker showed them the ropes, and soon they used them to hoist the furs on board. While they worked, he entertained them with songs and idle conversation. So, what do you think of the kidnapping? Kalen tried to act casual. What are you talking about? Where have you been? The entire Empire knows that the Imperial Consort has been snatched. The guard passed through Chorus Landing on their way north, and they'll most likely come back this way as well. You don't have to worry, though. As far as I know, they're not looking for a woman and a girl. Raul and Kalen snuck wary glances at each other behind the dockworker's back. They had a feeling they knew exactly who the guard was looking for. After a few hours of labor, the furs were stored below decks. The dockworker paid his hired hands 30 brillas each, plus a bonus. Take this shield, too. It, sort of fell off a ship. Okay. I don't know. It's so weird. I mean, this is, given to me at this time. I don't know. It almost feels like I missed something. Buy shields. Let's throw this in the garbage, I guess. Sure, why not? The man's sash of authority identified himself as one of Chorus Landing's finest. His manner identified him as an officer, but no gentleman. Eyeing Kalen up and down, he leered, "My, look at what Hannah has brought to my doorstep. How about stepping out on the town with me, little lady?" Kalen figured she could catch more rats with cake than vinegar, so she played along. After turning to wink at Raul, who stood back in the shadows, she flirted, "I always do admire a man in uniform." "Then you've got a lot of admiring ahead of you, sweet thing. I happen to be the official in charge of the night shift, so I always know where the action is." The officer put his arm around Kalen and gave her shoulder an affectionate squeeze. He blinked. "You've got some good muscle there, girl." Kalen giggled. "I like to give massages to my friends." The officer grinned salaciously. "Well, I'm the only friend you're going to need in this town. You can help me spend the burlas I made during the shipping strike." "Ah, yes, that was easy work for some damn fine money." The officer handed Kalen a bulging money bag. "Pretty impressive, huh?" Kalen simpered. "Oh, yes, I've never seen such a big, heavy money sack before. Not that I'd understand it, having no head for such complicated things, but what do you do to earn such a fortune?" The officer snorted. "Nothing, really. Bust a few heads, confiscate some cargo. Just generally make it so unpleasant around the harbor that the dock workers had no choice but to strike." "And someone paid you all this money just for that?" Kalen asked innocently. "Lord Caverton has deep pockets, but enough about the affairs of state. Let's get down to business. I think we should first go inside my house to get to know each other better. Then we can hit the taverns. I've got some friends who would love to meet you." Kalen pulled free of the officer's embrace. "Oh, I just remembered something. I told my boyfriend to meet me here right around now." On cue, Raul stepped out of the shadows. "Hello, Kalen. Who's your friend?" The officer backed up a few paces until he stood in the doorway. Your boyfriend's a girl? You're a dog lover?" he shouted. "Get out of my town before I have you arrested for not obeying the leash laws." Raul grinned, showing double rows of sharp white fangs. "Pleasure to meet you too, officer. See you around." Kalen pat Raul's back as they sauntered casually down the path. "Nice self-control, fur brother. As tempting as it seems, it would not be prudent to chew up an officer of the law right in his own town. Maybe we can figure out some other way to teach him some manners." That's so weird. What the hell? The door was answered by a young woman with thick blonde braids pinned in coils on top of her head. She looked at the companion's dusty boots and stained traveling clothes, then at their packs of weapons. "No siree," she declared. "I simply won't have it. Not again. I won't have two more strangers waltzing off the road, telling their tall tales and making my poor husband restless and discontented. You'll have to go bother someone else this day, I'm afraid." The door slammed in the companion's startled faces. Kalen laughed. Offhand, I'd say William and Aaron have been here before us. Made quite a good impression, too, wouldn't you say? This is probably one of the things that I guess I can't remember. Maybe she would have had a different reaction if I didn't stay for dinner. That's one of the crazy things about this game. Sometimes they think so far ahead of the viewer, of the player of the game, you know?
Oh, Sinadrin is a woman.
I think we might need it. They talk to everyone in this town, right? Really? Do something here. Kaylin decided to pass along a bit of information she thought the dock worker might find of interest. Do you know the officer in charge of the night patrol? The dock worker frowned. Sure, Malcolm Rourke. What of him? Well, he let it slip that he accepted bribes to instigate the strike. For your own protection, I'll not mention any names, but somehow one very high up decided to stir up trouble to suit his own ends. Your Malcolm is on the take. The big man spat. That carnivorous butt weasel. Pretending to be a protector of law and order and all the time creating havoc and civil unrest. Well, I think me and my fellow dock workers should go and have a little chat with Malcolm. Maybe give him a few underwater singing lessons just to even the score. Thanks for the information, you two. It's all right. As Kaylin and Raul walked back to the main road, Kaylin chuckled. I wonder if the dock workers' singing lessons will include teaching Malcolm how to tune a fish. I almost forgot. I just figured there was something we were supposed to do there, you know? I'm just gonna quickly establish boundaries. Let's see. Establish boundaries.
We won't find William and Aaron this way.
Okay. Okay, that establishes all the boundaries.
Your friends and the consort are safe, little archer. It's time for me to go back.
Tell Kerfalak my father and I will come for the Harquan ceremony.
I will, though you don't have to wait that long to visit.
Maybe I won't. Rawl, thanks. Without your help, we'd probably be rotting in the Imperial dungeons now. If there's ever anything I can do for you...
I know. You don't even have to say. Go with the wind, little archer.
Go with the wind, fur brother.
Okay. Time to decide what we want to do. Alright. Uh-oh.
How long are they going to keep us waiting?
Sit and stew. A standard procedure in jail.
But you're not some minor bureaucrat. You're the Imperial consort. And you've been missing. They must have been worried silly over you. Something doesn't add up here.
Greetings, strangers.
Hey, Kaylin!
So, what took you so long?
Hey, I'm glad to see you too. Just couldn't tear myself away from my new friends.
Where's Rawl?
He said to give you greetings, but he had to get back to his pack.
Well, thanks for getting those mercenaries off our backs. Good job.
Sure. No problem. Guess that makes us even now. Hey, looks like we've got company.
They're sending out an honor guard.
I wouldn't wager on it.
If His Highness would be so kind as to follow me, I will escort him and his companions into the palace. If His Highness and the rest of you will wait here, the captain will be with you presently.
We shall await his convenience.
Honor guard?
What's going to happen?
Wouldn't be surprised if we were here for quite a while. If I was captain of the guards, I'd have questions too.
Question us? But we rescued the consort. We didn't do anything wrong.
No, we just knocked out a bunch of Imperial guards, escaped from their custody, evaded them again at the headquarters of a covert military group, aided rebellion in our home province, destroyed an Imperial bridge, and then showed up on their doorstep with a kidnapped foreign dignitary. Why would they possibly want to question us?
Apparently, you already know the answer to that question, Master Escobar. Perhaps you wouldn't mind answering some of my own.
Captain,
I am relieved to see you well, Your Highness, and am most interested in hearing anything you can tell me about your abduction. But first, I think it prudent to have you examined by our court mage, Coulier. Just as a matter of form, of course. I'm sure you understand.
Very well. I'm sure Garzarem would insist that Mao should do the same. The sooner we get this over with.
Now then, I believe you were about to answer some questions. What was the consort's condition when you found him?
He was in a magical sleep or enchantment of some sort. Aaron brought him to, then we got out of there as fast as we could.
How convenient for you that the consort was unconscious at the time of his abduction and so cannot identify his kidnappers. Perhaps your plan went awry, and you decided to pose as his rescuers to avoid detection.
it was nothing like that.
Or the conspiracy could run deeper. You could just be the tip of the iceberg. So many possibilities, so many questions, and I intend to get some answers.
We intend to fully cooperate with you, Captain.
Oh, I'm sure you will, one way or another.
Seat of power for generations, the Imperial Palace is an elaborate structure dedicated to glorify the first family of Antara. Built by Emperor Valorian to represent his consolidation of the Empire, the palace has become a monument to excess, expanded upon by every emperor or empress since. When the subgates are open, anyone may enter to request an audience with His Highness. Today, however, the subgates are closed. Today is the ceremony to present the consort to the Imperial Court.
I feel like a prize sheep on fair day.
Nonsense. You look quite the gentleman. Now, stop fidgeting and relax.
I'm about to see the Emperor, and you expect me to relax?
Oh, there you are. Don't you both look handsome?
Why aren't you dressed? The ceremony is about to start.
I'm dressed.
Couldn't they find you a gown, or something?
Why, yes, I believe there was some mention of gowns. They changed their minds.
But Kalen, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire Shira will be there.
Then we'd better get going before all the good seats are taken. Coming?
As they filed into the hall, the captain of the Imperial Guard kept a stern eye upon them.
Snake spawn.
I thought for sure he was going to lock us up, even after questioning each of us in private. Good thing our stories meshed.
That's easy when you're telling the truth.
I know, but I still didn't think he'd believe me. Wow!
I think I see some seats over there.
Hear ye, all rise for His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Justin the Valorian V, Guardian of the Cloak, Champion of Harmony, Favored of the Triune, and the Princess Aurora Valorian, Daughter of the Emperor, Heir to the Imperial Cloak, Light of the Empire. Prince Gosrian Calabunk, second heir to the throne of Chale.
The Chalen prince entered, closely followed by his honor guard. The crowd buzzed like irritated bees, every head craning to see. The hall fell silent.
My Emperor, I bring you greetings and salutations from my father, King Calibank of Chale. Unfortunately, his health would not permit him to travel. Your Majesty, before we proceed with the formalities of the betrothal ceremony, I'd like to acknowledge 3 of your empire who did a great service for Chale. These individuals fought adversity and suspicion to ensure the safe arrival of my brother, thus preserving not only his life, but my family's honor as well. May I present to your Royal Highness William Escobar, Aaron Cordelane, and Kaylin Usher. Sir, by your leave, I'd ask them to stand and be recognized. The Kingdom of Chale and the Calibank family are in your debt.
The Emperor directed his penetrating gaze to each in turn, finally granting the trio a brief nod of acknowledgement. William took that as a signal to be seated, and the others followed his lead.
And now, Your Majesty, Princess, ladies and gentlemen of the court, and good people of Antara, may I present Feril Calibank, third heir to the throne of light, beloved of the kingdom, Prince of Chale.
He cleaned up well.
Your Majesty, I bring...
The consort's eyes bulged as he fell to his knees, desperately clutching his neck. Suddenly, he threw back his head, and from his gaping mouth a gaseous purple column swirled upward, coalescing into a hideous, ethereal form with a sphere of whirling energy visible within. Someone in the crowd recognized the form.
By the 3 faces, it's a wraith!
The wraith lunged toward the Emperor, but the princess, rushing forward to her consort's side, intercepted it. The wraith engulfed her, then disappeared down her throat. Moments later, it erupted forth again, with a second glowing sphere visible within. The wraith streaked toward the Emperor, but a sudden shimmering barrier repelled it. The shadows worked in tandem, maintaining the shield while weaving a snare for the creature. But as the wraith bucked against their magical net, it loosened the shadow's hold and slipped free. The wraith cast a smoldering look at the shadows, unable to break their shield over the Emperor. With a terrible hiss, it turned and fled from the palace. The shadows remained wary as the Emperor rushed to the side of his motionless daughter, mournfully cradling her in his arms.
We've got to go after it!
Are you insane? After what it just did? Besides, by the time you trample everyone and get outside, it'll be long gone.
Don't move, boy. I just thought of a few more questions. Seize them!
Aurora.
guards were powerful mages handpicked to safeguard the Emperor. They took their business seriously, so when the captain of the guard told them he was holding suspects, the shadows came. The shadows said nothing, but William, Aaron, and Callan understood and opened their minds to them. The shadows were not gentle, nor cruel or brutal. They were direct and efficient.
My head feels like a faro drum.
The last time I felt this bad, at least I'd felt good the night before.
If that's what it's like to submit to a voluntary probe, I'm sure glad I didn't have anything to hide.
Well, at least this cell has more class. We must be moving up in the world.
What I want to know is how the Wraith got into the palace. This place is filled with alarms, wards, and protective spells. An ethereal thing like that should have set off every warning.
Don't look at me. I never saw anything weird about the consort. Then again, I wasn't really looking. I'm learning as I go, remember?
You will come with me.
Where are you taking us now?
Quiet! He will see you in there. Mind your tongues.
The three companions were startled to find themselves face to face with the Emperor himself. They quickly regained sufficient composure to drop to their knees in the prescribed manner.
As near as my advisors can determine, the consort had some sort of reflecting shield inside him. It kept a bubble of mana around this wraith, sustaining and blocking detection. They've never seen anything like it before. At least we know why the consort was abducted. Your claims of innocence in that matter ring true. I'm told that one of you, however, has seen these things before. Tell me.
Callan recounted her experience in the woods with the wraiths. The Emperor listened intently, questioning details and probing for more information.
The mindlessness is temporary, Your Majesty. Soon the princess and the consort, drawn to the souls around them, will lash out with unnatural strength and fury.
Advisors have already put Aurora and the consort in stasis outside the normal flow of time. They hope this will forestall the transformation until we can find a way to reverse the process.
Reverse it? Your Majesty, my father is a mage. He said the only way to save a victim is to destroy the wraith before it consumes the soul.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. I've sent word to the Triune. The most learned of all three arms are on their way. My advisors will help them try to find a cure. But sometimes a physical assault succeeds where intellect fails. The thing that hurt my daughter is out there somewhere. You've faced these creatures before. I ask you to do it again. Will you help me?
We'll do everything we can, Your Majesty.
In that case, I think we should start in Nathby.
Why there?
Though I didn't think of it at the time, reliving the attack during the mind scan made me realize something. I had thought our ship attacked by pirates or guild strong-arms, but now I'm certain that our attackers were after Gregor. He had forewarning that the consort was going to be kidnapped and was killed to silence his tongue. If we can find out who sent that ship and the Griffin, we'll know who's behind this plot as well.
And he may lead us to the Wraith.
Good. My men will escort you to Genui. Find this thing. Destroy it. Save my daughter.
When the Emperor said go, you went. They left within the hour, an armed escort clearing the way before them. They rode hard, stopping at posts along the way to trade their tired horses for fresh ones. Finally, after days of riding, they reached Genui. The guards reclaimed the Emperor's horses, saying their orders were to return to the palace immediately. William, Aaron, and Callan watched as the Imperial guards disappeared into the pass. Once again, they were on their own.
Okay, this was kind of a longer video. That's gonna end this video. next time, we're gonna start